Everyone relax. This is TOFOP. I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Will Anderson. Hello, and thank you for watching. So, when did it happen?
When did I become a priest?
Yep, you knew it. Yeah, you've come dressed as
Here's the
either
thing.
a priest or a member of an intergalactic federation, like an envoy from an intergalactic federation who's been beamed in
Utopian society
Yeah, that's right.
where everyone dresses the same
Yes.
and there's no war, no conflict. Racial issues have been eliminated because they all look like me, Will.
Yes, yes.
No, what's happened is because the first time, well, not the first time, first couple of times we started recording in studio.
Yes.
I was looking back at the videos and I was wearing black and I'm like, oh, but Will always wears black. And then it was like, oh, it clashes too much. And then we're in Melbourne, so I packed a little bag because we did a live show yesterday and I didn't think about recording the next day and I only bought a black hoodie. I was like, oh no, I can't go in just with a black hoodie. And then I remembered I'd recently purchased a Muji, a long sleeve.
Here we go again.
Muji top.
Again, are you getting like a side? Are you doing a side deal with Muji?
No, but you know what? I went to buy some Muji stuff online the other day, and I went to the checkout because I was having a big sale, and I wanted to, and they were like, "Do you have a coupon code to get your discount?" And I was like, "I don't, but I deserve a discount, Muji." And there was no notes or like, sometimes when you make a purchase, you can put notes about delivery options or whatever. I wanted to say, hey, by the way, can you listen to this podcast? Because I've mentioned your product about 50 times this year. I'm entitled to a 10% discount.
So it's working is what I'm going to say, because I'm staying in some accommodation for the next few months, and I wanted to get if I'm staying somewhere in like same place that is used by other people like the rest of the time, right? Not a hotel, but like a service apartment style, like that sort of thing. What I often like to do is just go and get a couple of cheaper but nice bathroom items. So I feel like I'm not using the same stuff that everybody who ever stays there uses.
Sure.
So, right? Like it just feels like in the bathroom.
Just a bit more personalized. Yeah.
Just makes it feel like a bit like
Yeah, and it's not those tiny little annoying bottles that have to get restocked.
That's right. Just your own stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was walking by a Muji.
Yes.
They were having a sale.
Yep.
And I thought, they've got a range of like homewares, and they're kind of a cheap, stylish. Yeah, this is maybe what I need.
Yes.
They have quite a collection.
Did you get the toothpaste that you just chew? It's toothpaste. It's chew paste.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just little tablets. Instead of like putting toothpaste on a brush, it's like a little chew paste. You just chew it and then give it a little brush.
The future is here.
And you can use a little finger thing as well. You don't even need a toothbrush. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? We've got to get some Muji money.
How do we do this?
So I went in and I was getting the bathroom supplies that I needed, and they were all great, very nice. And then this is a real what do they call it at the supermarket where they're for kids
The
and they're
impulse item.
it's an impulse item.
Yeah.
It is rare that a beanbag is an impulse item.
That's like an Aldi impulse item. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
So they were selling these very comfortable looking, essentially like big beanbags, but like you could also use as a bit of like a foot. Basically, where I'm staying, there's nowhere for me to put my feet up when I'm in a chair. And I thought, this would be perfect. I don't think a beanbag's good for. It'd take me that's the rest of my day trying to get back out of the beanbag. But as like a footstool, that I then, because I can't buy
a furniture.
Right?
Furniture.
Yes. So it was just one of those things where I was looking for an in between, and it was at the right price. And I was like, oh, you know what? Even if at the end of 3 months I just like donate this to someone else or whatever, that's fine. It's okay. It'll be worth it. And so I go in. And I'm looking at the cover and the little variety of little Muji covers that I have, deciding which cover I would like. And then I'm trying to work out how many beans does it need or whatever. Right? Because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a beanbag guy.
Yeah.
I remember beanbags from when I'm a child.
Yeah.
So when it was just like big bags of beans.
Yeah. Did you have the vinyl bean bags at home or corduroy?
corduroy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we were corduroy.
You weren't
household.
rich then. Who was the rich kids? Had the
Vinyl?
vinyl ones. Yeah. Shiny vinyl ones. Lots of beans. Ours were half filled. Like
Has there been a
corduroy.
vinyl beanbag revolution as well as a vinyl? People
yeah,
buy
like-
records
yeah,
and
like
vinyl
hipsters.
beanbags.
Like some barista. You go to his cafe and it's just like all like craft beer and what are they, slavery-free beans and vinyl beanbags.
So I have, I'm looking like a fool, like an old-fashioned, like an Encino man who's wandered into
Yeah.
this shop going, how many bags of beans do I need to put in this bag?
So can I ask, did you notice how hip were the staff? Because when I go into Muji stores, the staff are super hip. Like the dudes are wearing like dresses and they're all got cool haircuts. And was it like that? Or is it?
This was a suburban shopping centre
Right.
Muji.
Yeah, they couldn't Muji too hard.
They were still Mujing pretty hard. Like for the rest of the shopping centre, I can't say where it is. I don't live near there. It's
Okay.
it was Chadstone's shopping centre. So
Yeah.
if people don't know,
The fashion capital of Melbourne.
it's like it is a huge. It must be one of the biggest shopping centres, Westfields, in like all of Australia, if not the biggest, I'd imagine. And
Yeah.
it is like so. There's quite a retail level of it.
Yeah.
There is quite like a really fancy high end, like all
Hermes
the
and-
like
yeah.
all the like every shop has a
Security guard. But see, when I was a kid growing up in Melbourne, like Chadstone was where you went to get rolled for
Yeah.
your sneakers. Like it was.
I still think there's a bit of that happening
Oh,
at
right,
Chaddy.
okay.
Just better sneakers.
Yeah.
They're rolling you for your Balenciagas.
Where were the security guards when I was getting rolled outside Guess Jeans?
Yeah. So there's still some of those though. There's still some not Guess necessarily, but like there's still some sort of lower end or cheaper brands.
There must be a Suzanne's and a Just Jeans.
Yeah, there's just
Jeans West.
There's a whole bunch of. It's a real like you can get.
It's
lost.
like Snowpiercer. You know, like
Yeah.
the Snowpiercer, you got like the lower class
And
carriage at the back.
they're on
and-
different levels.
That's right.
Like even the donuts get better as you get up
Yeah.
the levels.
What
you
a
know?
microcosm of society itself, Chadstone Shopping Centre.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was at Chadstone Shopping Centre at the Muji there. I would say if you compared the Muji stuff to anyone on the layer 1 or layer 2 before you get to the high end
So it's
luxury,
middle class.
I would say they were the cool ones though. They're like the hip.
Oh, working class, upper working class.
I
So
think
it's
that
got
the Muji and the Lululemon people would hang out together.
Okay.
They had just a cool kind of. We're
Yeah.
all relaxed. We're cool. We're
Yeah.
modern. We're vibey.
Yeah.
Um,
Youthful.
yeah. So it turns out they're giant. Like they're not beanbags. There's
Oh.
like a giant.
Are they puffs?
I mean, I guess it's more like a puff, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a giant bean bag. It's like one big bean. And then you've got to just slide the bean into the cover, man.
Yeah. Oh, what?
So
One big bean?
it's one big bean.
Like a Mr. Bean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a tiny Rowan Atkinson.
That is because
One big bean.
Because we literally bought Iona a little bean bag. Like it's more like a bean bag armchair. It's like shaped like an
Yeah.
armchair, but you fill with beans. And it was like a nightmare filling it. Like those polystyrene balls. Like once they hit the atmosphere, they have their mind of their own. They go everywhere. It was so hard for Gemma and I both trying to fill this bean bag up. But a giant bean,
Well, I mean, it's a giant. Like it's like a giant. Like
polystyrene.
I
What's
don't
that
know
made
what's
from?
inside it. No, it's got like a cloth cover. Like it's poof in shape, right?
Yeah,
Like, but it is, and it has the appearance of a like.
it's poofy.
It's like a. Is it a poof or a poof? A footstool, right? Like it's footstool shaped, right?
yeah.
And so, but being like in texture and quality, it's
Yes.
gelatinous, right?
Wow.
But it's,
Muji's amazing. What's it made from, Will?
I don't know.
What are they doing over there in Japan?
I don't know.
It's fascinating.
But anyway, it's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
So that was your Muji experience.
that was my first ever. I was a Muji version. So
So did
one
you look at any
downside,
clothes? Did you look
I
at
will
any
say,
clothes? I think you'd like Muji clothes.
yeah, but you know what? I did look and I did see a couple of things that I like, but you know what stopped me from purchasing any of them?
Me.
Yes.
I'm the Muji guy.
Yeah, you're the Muji guy.
Yeah.
I'm not coming for your thing.
Well, that's true. And see, and I
And
love.
then what if I started dressing like you?
But I love wearing black,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of black hoodies and stuff, and I wear them. Like I wear them when I'm home,
Yeah.
but when I know we're recording, I can't bring any black. But I forgot I packed in a rush, and so I had this Muji top that I hadn't taken out of the packaging. It's like I'll just chuck that in, but I hadn't actually. When I bought it, it was an impulse purchase. Oh, they're on sale, just like a long sleeve, like thermal. I didn't realize that I had a skivvy type collar, and when I put this on, I was like, oh God, I look like a priest.
I did have one downside to my Muji experience, which is not on Muji.
Okay.
So when I get to the front counter of the Muji, because I've got my bathroom products already in my hands, like this giant bean is like it's a bulky bean. It's not like it's in a box, a bulky bean in a box, and you can't
Triple B's.
you can't carry that through the Chadstone.
You get
shopping
barred if you carry a
centre.
bulky bean.
That's right. So they said, we've got a pickup zone, like
Yeah.
like so out the back.
How big's the bean?
I mean,
It's a big bulky bean.
I guess it was in a box this
You're
big.
buying a big
the
bulky bean.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
So it's
And so,
annoying to carry
Like,
through.
well, it would literally. Well, I mean,
It'd be
if
too
I
big. You look like an ant escaping a picnic. or
I
something.
would run into people. I would be an inconvenience to others. Like there was no. I could lift it because it's not particularly heavy.
No, but you can't see.
Can't see.
Yeah.
I've got no.
I mean,
I'd have to
so
have one of those
perfect,
caution
though, that
wide
you-
load sort of.
carrying a giant bean,
Yeah.
you end up becoming like Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Like bumping into things.
That's how Mr. Bean became Mr. Bean.
Right.
It
You
was
went to Muji.
He was bitten by a radioactive bee. So so they said there's a loading zone, and they bring out this like book that has it's like the secret instructions to the loading zone.
What?
Well, you got it. So where are you parked? Because I don't know if you've parked at Chadstone Shopping Centre, but
for a
it
while.
is because it's a whole suburb now.
Yeah. It's
And
huge.
so I think there's like A through G car parks in a ring around it. So
Right.
they've all different colours. And I was in car park C,
Okay.
and I needed to be in car park between E and F.
Right.
Right.
That's where the loading zone
That's
is.
where the loading zone is. So they show me the map around to get where I'm going. But this isn't just for people who've never been there before. This isn't just driving around a car park that is around the shopping centre. At Chadstone Shopping Centre, to get from car park C to car park E and F, you have to go back out onto the highway, back
right.
in another. I mean, it's not.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. So they show me the map of how to get there. They tell me the thing that was easiest for me, which is it's in between red and yellow. I was like, I can remember that.
Colours.
Like,
Yeah,
all
I'm
this
good with
other
that.
stuff. I'm really struggling with it, right? So I have to drive around from C, and then they show me this one park, which is the kind of the Muji loading dock, and they say this is where you got to go to, and they say and when like somebody's. I don't know what you're like when somebody's showing you instructions and stuff to.
I go blank. It's like that Homer Simpson thing where there's just like a monkey with playing the cymbals in my head.
I don't think I even get that.
Right.
I think I literally have something in my head, like purposefully saying other words just to confuse me, so
And
that
that's what dyslexia is like,
Yeah.
I reckon.
at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That like you just like you're hearing it and you understand what
Yeah.
is being said is logical,
But
but
none
you
of it
can't
is-
retain it. It
yeah.
doesn't. You can't visualize it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So, but I remember between red and yellow.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that is stuck in my head. Is like I'm sure if I find where it is, I can work it out from there. Like I'm not one of those people that I'm happy to like park nearby there, get out of the car, do some exploring on foot, find where it is that I want to go. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to immediately drive there
Okay.
like straight into
You're
the
not
park.
like a wheelman who's
No.
like, it'll be precisely here at
Yeah.
this time.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no.
no. You're much more
Get
organic.
me into the area.
Yeah, man, I'll find
then
my way.
I'll just have a
I'll
little
just vibe it.
base camp it, and then I'll work it out from there. I'll do some of it on foot. I'll do a little scouting mission. I'll do a
Yeah.
recce.
I'm a bit like that as well because I get overwhelmed because when people give you instructions, there is a lot of pressure where they say, go to the end of the street, don't go to the first exit, go to the second exit. And it's like, all right, that's too much information. But if you give me the general area, I will find my own way because it's less pressure to be precise.
Yes.
And you're not like second guessing yourself.
Get me near enough.
Yeah.
And I'll take it from there.
And also, but that idea of, it's like when you have a meeting, like I found this in LA a lot, where you would have like a meeting and you'd be driving around and it's like, I'm just going to park. I'm not going to try and park at the building where the meeting is because if I can't find the park or I get confused, it's going to stress me out. I'd much rather take it. I see a park here that's 2 blocks away. I'll take that one and then I'll walk there because it's just going to put less pressure on me.
No, I agree with that. So I have that approach also. Now, in retrospect,
But you've got to pick something up heavy.
Yeah,
You don't want to Mr. Bean it 2 blocks back to your car.
in retrospect, I had a what I would like to refer to as a Charlie Clausen moment because earlier on, when she was showing me the maps and directions, the shop assistant did say, "Do you want to take a photo of this?" Now, I, in that moment of hubris,
Yeah.
said, no, I'll be right.
Photographic memory.
So,
Unfortunately, when I say photographic memory, it's analog, which
Yeah.
means it takes 3 days to develop.
Exactly. I have to send
And
it
it's out of
away.
focus.
So, I drive around to between red and yellow. Now, here's where my first issue arises, Charlie. Between red and yellow,
It's not the colour.
there is a giant construction zone. The entire area it is all closed off.
Yep.
Like, genuinely, like it's like I've been pranked because the one area that I thought I could rely on between red and yellow, you can't even get in between red and yellow. There is no between red and yellow other than this construction area. So I decide to choose one, right?
Yeah.
I'm closest to yellow, so I park in yellow. I get out on foot. I do some exploring. No Muji to be seen. I look at the construction site. I try to work out.
This is on foot,
This is
right?
on foot.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on foot. So I go back to the car.
So can I ask,
yeah.
guys, so in my, so you got red, yellow, and construction in the middle. So you get out at yellow and you walk straight to the construction site and try and navigate around that to find.
I walk to the site because they said between red and yellow, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on the edge of yellow. So I'm thinking, well, it could be on this side, right? This could be between red and yellow. So I take a bit of a look at the shops that are along the side to the construction area just to see if any of them might have an indication that there was like and then
a loading bay.
Yeah, but they didn't have any loading bays.
Okay.
And then massive construction area. I peek inside. Again, almost stared at it for too long because literally all you have to do is like see it's a construction area.
Yeah.
It would be unusual if I peeked inside
Now-
and inside there was the Muji collection loading dock, right?
But all of a sudden, too, like security are watching this guy who's been staring at this construction site
If you
for
see
far
something,
too
say
long.
something.
Yeah, totally. Like it's very suspicious, unless you're just some nerd who loves like diggers or something like that.
So, back in the car.
Okay.
I've got to get back in the car.
Back in the car.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
because there's no way around. Like the construction zone is so big.
You can't cross it to get
I
to blue.
could cross it, but it's like, it's a journey.
Right.
And clearly now I've ruled out this side as being where it
Okay.
is. So I'm like, you know
Process
what?
of elimination.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got to be over the other side. I go over the other side of the construction zone. Immediately on the other side of the construction zone is a loading dock. Now, it looks too. My initial thought is like, 'cause it's got like a drawbridge gate, and there's like a couple of trucks down there that are unloading.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I don't know. Like, this is a loading dock, but it feels more like a.
Like people delivering.
Yeah.
Delivery as opposed to like.
And for trucks and suppliers and coals and like
not
big
custom to pick up.
furniture. It's not like just I should take my car in there and get my giant bean situation. It's also down, and it feels like there's a lot of trucks down there.
Staff only.
But I thought, oh, well, this does seem to
Holy
be.
shit, you're that guy.
Well, I don't know if I normally am, but I think it was partly because around this construction, there was just a lot of one-way action. And I was like, oh, well, it feels like this is where I'm meant to go. I can't see anything else and it's meant to be. So I guess this must be it. So I go down there. It's not it.
Where did you end up? Where are you?
I am literally in the
shopping centre's loading bay for
absolutely,
deliveries.
yeah.
Right.
And there's like 4 big trucks.
There's no
and
other
I'm
little
trying
hire
to do
cars
a
in there.
19 point. Like I'm clearly an idiot who's just driven in there. So,
I mean, that's happened to me in Edinburgh. When I was driving through the heart of Edinburgh, I didn't realise that I had driven into they've got this tram line there, and then the road splits into 2, and I mistook a road, and I was on tram lines, and it was like a sectioned off, like I was literally driving on tram tracks for about 1 kilometre because I just had taken that wrong turn, and then in that moment you get panicked, like I've got to get out of here, but you can't just. There was like barriers on either side. I couldn't drive out. So then trams were in front and behind me. So if you were standing on the side of the road, you would have seen a tram pass and then some tourist in his car and the tram come up behind him. It's the most humiliating experience you can go through.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think when I was maybe even just 5 years ago, I would have felt so embarrassed, so panicked. And whatever it is, I think maybe I've just given up on life a little bit.
Yeah.
But in like a way that is actually probably healthy.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, it doesn't actually matter.
No.
Like what you
What
realize.
you've got is that old man kind of like lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness, but also you fucked up enough times in your life to realize that in the general, like no
this
one.
you pick your battles.
Yeah,
this is not something to get angry about.
This is
I'm old.
I was like,
I can't see. I can't follow instructions.
I'm an idiot.
What am I going to do?
No, I'm an idiot. I've always been an idiot.
I admit it. Now you guys just have to accept it. Like that's what you're doing, really.
Yeah, totally.
I'm at peace with what an idiot I am. You guys need to accept it.
No, this is on brand for me.
Yeah.
I know me. This might be a surprise to you, but I'm like, yeah, this checks out. So, all right. So I get out of there, not too bad, actually, in the grand scheme of things.
Anyone yell at you or anything like that?
No, none of that. A few dirty looks.
Okay.
But I was actually reasonably efficient in immediately recognizing that I'd made a mistake, finding a way out of it, and kind of dealing with the situation. So it worked out okay. I say now I'm like, all right, well, I've got no idea what I'm going to do. So what would you do in this situation? So you've got out of your car once.
Okay,
You've gone for a walk.
I would go park in blue, and then I would do another recon on foot. So I'm like, well, surely I've missed it. There must be another access point.
So when you say you mean in red, the other
so when
red,
you're between
yellow and red. I was originally in
red,
blue,
sorry.
but we're looking between yellow and red.
Okay,
I walked in yellow.
Yeah,
looked at the construction
red.
site, went round to red, and then went into the loading bay.
Okay, so I'd go back to red.
Yeah.
And I'd get out, park the car, and I'd get out, and I'd go on foot.
To go and find it?
Yeah, to try and find the loading bay.
Okay.
So
I parked the car.
Yeah, in red.
And again, parked the car in red on level 1 of red. And had a bit of a look around on level 1 of red to see if there was anywhere that looked like it could be it. But red went down 3 levels.
Oh shit! This is so confusing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there's levels to the car park.
Only sometimes.
So, and had you checked all the levels on yellow?
Oh, yellow only had 1 level.
Oh, I mean, this is This is like the villain from Saw invent this.
Yeah, it's like Maze Runner.
Yeah,
yeah, Chadstone Shopping Centre.
It just changes.
When
you go back now,
every
there's only 2 levels.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So yellow had 1 level. This has got 3 levels.
Yeah.
So I'm on level 1. I'm on the top level. And at this point, and again, this is a sign of aging, I think, of maybe becoming more comfortable with yourself. There would have been a part of me in the past that would have been like, no, I'm going to work this out and become more and more angry and frustrated, like at myself and the world, that I wasn't able to, do this. I was like, you know what? Just go back inside. Go back to Muji.
Oh, you went back to Muji.
I went back to Muji. And I just asked them where it was. I said, you know what? I'm just going to...
How long did that take you, though?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is...
See, that's the thing that would make me
Yeah.
go like, oh, fuck, I've got to go back out into the freeway, back around to that original car park, go back into Muji.
No. So this is a shopping centre. I've gone in from Red.
Okay, so you parked at Red
the
and then
Muji,
walked
this
through.
is what I know about the Muji. The Muji is over on the Red side. That's why the loading dock is on that side. So wherever I'd been in the shopping centre,
Right.
I am now
Closer to Muji.
Muji.
Okay.
So all I knew is I had to pop in, go down to Muji,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can sort this out. And I was right. They say it's just on level 3 of the red car. So I just had to go down in the red car park, and then I backed my car into the little Muji spot. They come out the back. This is what they say to me, Charlie. They say, I'm about to put it in my car. And the lady there just says, oh, you know what? Would you like us to take it out of the box for you? And she takes it out of the box. And it turns out it's a very manageable light
Small.
beam.
You could have carried it
that
from
I
the store.
absolutely could have carried. If they just told me in the store we could take it out of the box, it would have been absolutely fine for me to carry.
Yeah, wow, that is
Yeah.
a big failure. That's the first mark against the name of Muji. That
Well, that's not on Muji. That's on me mostly.
well, why is that on you? They
Well,
they were the ones who
immediately-
advised you to go to a loading bay to pick it up.
Yeah, but that was the person out the front of the shop, whereas the person in the loading bay works the bay, I imagine, all the time. They know like practical things like, get it out of the box. Whereas like
Yeah.
maybe the person out the front is a bit more like,
Yeah, look, I'm still not happy with it. I still feel like that person who, because knowing how light it was and knowing how far you had to go and knowing how big Chadstone is, like that's an inconvenience. Like she should have been able to say, well, yeah, you can pick it up, but it's only this big inside the packet. That Muji person needs retraining. Send them back to a Muji re-education camp. Mujification. You need to be Mujificated.
now,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, no, we
All
are.
right,
We're
we
going to
are.
get to it.
Okay.
So, Will,
yes.
in 14 years of doing this show, we've talked about some controversial hot button
Yeah.
topics. But I can say there is nothing that has created as much controversy
Oh,
as our brand new segment, Crack That Pack.
really?
What was, I guess, like a spontaneous decision, something that we enjoyed, like
a whimsy.
a whimsy, has created a firestorm amongst our listeners. Now, from time to time, I like to check out the Tea Room on Facebook, which is our Facebook page. And look, there is no right or wrong in this scenario. It's just like, it's all subjective. It's all people's opinions. But someone just aired a grievance or a lack of enthusiasm about our newest segment, Crack That Pack, which is like, not really sure I'm into this biscuit review thing. And then that started like an absolute firestorm. Like I've never seen our listeners argue so passionately pro and con anything we've ever talked about. There's some people who love the segment and there's some people who hate the segment. Now, to be fair, and I think this is, we take feedback on board. It's a learning. We can move on from that. The major complaint seems to be stop eating your biscuits so close to the fucking microphone,
that's fair.
which is fair enough.
That's absolutely fair.
Will and I love this segment. We want to continue this segment. We'll take that feedback on board. But
I think that's good feedback.
I do have a couple of things I want to read out just because
right.
this is more in the positive realm of things. This is from Jared, who says, hello, I'm a long-time listener and a first-time writer. I'm sitting in my public service job listening to a podcast about two grown men reviewing their favorite biscuits. And strangely, I fucking love it. How did my life reach this point?
I know, but
Right?
yeah, I love it too. Everyone I've told, this is honestly the first time any of my friends have been interested in our podcast. Because they say, what are you talking about on the podcast? I'm like, we're reviewing which are the best biscuits. And then I have like quite passionate conversations with people about what biscuits they like.
People have been sending me pictographs of them ranking their own biscuits. Like,
Yes.
but this is a thing, though. Like, it seems to be a real raw nerve kind of thing. You are either into biscuit reviews or you fucking hate biscuit reviews. I didn't realize
Interesting.
anyone hated biscuits. Or
But this is good,
biscuit
Charlie,
reviews.
because this is the first time. This is what the internet rewards.
Yeah,
like controversy in the algorithm.
This came in from Luke. He was like, guaranteed winner for Crack That Pack. Gents, try the Aldi version of the wagon wheel. It's hilariously named the cartwheel, and it is superior to the OG wagon wheel.
I read a review in the newspaper that said that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. So we have to put that on the list. But this is
I
probably
read a thing where they were ranking the Aldi versions versus the original versions, and I think the wagon wheel was the only one where the Aldi version, like they loved it more.
now this is probably the most feedback we've had about anything regarding
Okay.
biscuits,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like we've shamed our fellow Australians in a lot of ways. Anzac cookie.
Oh yeah.
We referred to it as Anzac cookie. So this is coming from Stuart. And the subject is Anzac cookie, an illegal term. So he says, guys, in the recent episodes of TOFOP, I've heard both Will and Charlie use the term Anzac cookie on multiple occasions. I'd like to let you know that you have been using a term that's actually disallowed by the Department of Veterans Affairs. According to their guidelines, the products are only to be referred to as Anzac biscuits and never Anzac cookies. This is because biscuit is the Australian term and cookie is an American term. So the term Anzac cookie is a clash of terminology that disrespects the Australianness of the Anzac tradition. The guideline is aimed at stopping the creeping Americanization of Australia, i.e. saying diaper instead of nappy, $5 bill instead of $5 note, Z instead of Z, as well as protecting the name.
That's the issue about Americans' involvement in
Yeah,
Australia.
that's the biggest issue.
That's the big one.
As well as protecting the name of the biscuits. The Department of Veterans Affairs also has fines for people who after the recipe of Anzac biscuits, who alter, sorry, I think it's just a misspelling, who alter the recipe of Anzac biscuits, such as adding chocolate chips or almonds. Individual sellers of modified recipe biscuits are looking at a $10,000 fine, whereas businesses can be fined up to $51,000.
Well, you know what? If they're just you want them to be cookies, you just make them AUKUS cookies, right?
We could.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a little AUKUS cookie.
But what's the most American?
Anzac biscuits
Is
and
chocolate-
an AUKUS cookie?
So is a chocolate chip,
Chocolate
is that
chip, yeah, I
quintessential
would've thought so.
American?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Or, yeah, what's another?
Some sort of caramel.
Or the s'more. If you
Yeah.
took an Anzac biscuit, put marshmallow and chocolate.
I think choc chip feels American.
chocolate
to
chip
me.
doesn't feel right though in an Anzac. That seems like too
Yeah,
much.
but that's your AUKUS cookie.
He says if you want to plead your case, there's a specific government email address we could email. So we could maybe ask for an exemption, do you think, in this case? Or do we just, from now on, make a commitment? We just no longer refer to it as an Anzac cookie.
I'll do what I like, and no one tells me what to do. That's what the diggers fought
look at
for,
this.
my freedom.
Look at the Will burning the flag.
Diggers fought for my freedom to say whatever I wanted to say.
It's funny, this goes way back to, I remember my dad telling me about my granddad, that when he was in the army and the American soldiers came out here, and the American soldiers had all like nice, neat, like ironed uniforms. They looked, really cool. And the Aussie soldiers were all wearing their baggy green, like slouch hats and pants that didn't fit quite right and stuff. And all the local Aussie girls were like, oh, they're so much better. And the guy's like, no, we're Australian. You got to like us. It's like, well, occasionally, if you don't want to put a bit of pizzazz on it, of course people are going to be drawn. Cookie has a bit of pizzazz to it. I understand and I honour the spirit of the Anzac biscuit.
Oh, I agree. Like,
But
I mean,
I'm also sympathetic to the fact that like language changes.
I'm happy in the case of the Anzac because of the specific branding of it. The fact that it is obviously associated with, like, in reference to the military history of Australia. I understand that. That makes sense to me. Anzac biscuit, I'm fine with that. In general, the whole biscuit cookie, don't use American terms, as if somehow the British are better than Americans. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Somehow
they're
superior.
equally terrible. Like, we came from both of them. I don't have a particular adherence. Like, and also the one thing we've learnt from modern generations is that language changes so quickly.
Yes.
And, that idea that you're holding onto some traditional way to say something or spell something.
Well, even Z and Z, that's the
Yeah,
one
who
thing I'm
cares?
trying to hold on with Iona
Oh, yeah.
because, she does the alphabet. We'll go through books and stuff, and she keeps saying Z, and I'm like Z. But everything she consumes,
Yeah,
because
says Z.
90% of children's entertainment comes from the States, says Z. And it's like, is this battle really worth fighting? I mean, everyone knows what she means.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. People pronounce things differently in Australia. Like,
I don't want her to
what I mean? Like,
receive the boot like on The Simpsons, though.
But you know, man, like it's like castle. People say that differently within Australia depending on where you're from. So why are we so upset about like H and H depending on where you went to school?
But I also think that the Anzac biscuit and Anzac cookie can imply two different things. Like if it
yes,
was,
I agree. And I
like
thought,
Ben and Jerry's
I thought,
is ice cream, but it's
Yeah.
also it's Ben and Jerry's. You know what I mean? Like it's like a different type of ice cream. So
yeah,
I think there's
no,
like
I
traditional
agree
Anzac
that if
biscuit.
you're like putting an Anzac on the edges of a Ben and Jerry's, it's probably a cookie.
Yeah, like if you got an Anzac biscuit from
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme and
It's
they
a
called it a
cookie.
cookie, that would be a cookie.
Yeah, in
Or
fact, the
Mrs.
Americans,
Fields or
Krispy
something.
Kreme are American, so I don't want them culturally appropriating our language.
Yeah.
Their biscuits are scones.
And also, like
In
we used to
America,
call
a biscuit is a scone.
we used to call like pikelets drop scones. Remember that? Like I
Yes.
have an old school cookbook that it's like drop scones, and then we adopted the American pikelet, and also donuts. We used to spell DOUGH, and now we've adopted the American. So what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and you know what? There are a lot of words we used to use that we don't use anymore, and for good reason.
We used it earlier in the show, but in a different context. All right, but yes, it's time.
Okay,
We're
but we're not going to eat. So okay,
not
new
going to eat
rules.
on mic. Yep.
We are continuing with the segment.
Crack the pack. And if anyone wants
Because
to
we
come
like
up,
it, if
Hugh
we-
Tidy, if you're out there and you want to come up with a crack that pack jingle, we're open to it.
I understand that there are going to be people out there who don't enjoy the segment. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, we can time code it.
Yeah, let's time code it, and people can skip through it. The other thing is,
You know what? Should we do a
Yeah.
warning for one? This episode may contain references to biscuits.
oh yeah, that's well, but it's just this bit where people
Trigger warning.
and we won't do it at
Traces
the same
of
time.
biscuits.
Hey?
Traces of biscuits. That's right. Yes, just traces. So, okay.
All right.
So we're going to crack that pack.
Yeah.
But this week,
This is a special one.
controversially, there is no pack.
That's right.
There is no pack to crack. I'm just going to put my hand into a bag.
Okay.
So, what I did this morning, we're recording in Melbourne because we had our live show yesterday at the Basement Comedy Club. Thank you to everybody who came out to the Basement Comedy Club.
Yep.
I am loving the live shows. We made a little announcement that we will be doing some more. We don't have any details to be able to tell you about those, but
Yes.
other than we are going to do some more.
Well, we do have a detail, which is they'll be in Melbourne.
Yes.
We're continuing our residency at the Basement Comedy Club in Melbourne. I
It's-
understand that's disappointing. There's other cities that we want to
We
get
will,
to eventually.
At some stage.
But yeah, it just in terms of like where Will's based at the moment and what's
Yep.
convenient for us and doing the show.
Means we can do the Saturday show and then have a day of recording
Yep.
these face-to-face episodes. It just works really well. And to be honest, and I'd love to be able to do this in other places as well, but there's been something so fun about, there's 80 to 90% of the audience who come, have been to all three or been to like two
They
out
are
of
as
the
much
three.
part of the show
Yeah.
as we are in a lot of ways.
In fact, yesterday, actually part
someone
of the
was
show.
part of the show. Thanks, Billy. Shout out to Billy.
And it's been such an experience. For the people who got there early yesterday, you got an extra bonus half an hour of John Deeks warming up the crowd. So they've been such incredible experience. And we had Ben Russell and Amy Ruffle on the show. They do a brilliant improv show, by the way, which is on at Comedy Republic on Wednesday nights that everybody should go and check out. They were great guests, but it was just so much fun to do the shows. This is how we're doing them at the moment. I said I'll get the first two episodes. The thing that I would say is they're pretty disappointing biscuits, right?
And that was because we hadn't planned it.
No, it was spontaneous.
Yeah.
It was a whimsy, Charlie.
Yeah. And we also went to like a major, supermarket chain.
Yes.
And, we want to support kind of independent biscuit producers as well.
Now, so I'm going to run you through. So we're recording 3 of these in a day. So at this first one, you have the choice of 3
Yeah.
that we can go for, right?
Okay.
So what I was going to do was last night, I was going to see a magic show. And
Yeah. You love magic shows.
I love magic. And so this show, oh, by the way, I'll give it you'll like this.
Yeah.
So his name is Tim Ellis. He is a guy who's been, when he was 10 years old, went into a magic shop and fell in love with, close-up magic. He ended up later on owning the magic shop. He's become a quite successful magician all around the world, now does cruises and stuff. He's made a theatre in his house.
Oh wow.
Like, so he has like, so it's like a
That's
magic.
like every kid's dream.
Yeah, so it's like a magic museum,
Wow.
basically, like a museum of magic and all his stuff that he's done in his career and stuff, like posters from big Vegas shows or, big cruises and magic conventions and all stuff that he's done, but also, little magic tricks and bits and bobs. And then he has this beautiful little, I guess, 40 or 50 seat theatre out the back of his house. It's so like well set up, so the whole thing, like you get there, you get like center pass code when you go through the door. You like have to say a like magic phrase like to get into this place, and
What do you mean you have to say a magic phrase?
well, he gives you the phrase, and you have to like when
Does
you
everyone get the
buzz
same phrase?
Like it's down the laneway, and
So
when
it's
you
a bit
buzz
like
the door,
what's that place in LA?
yeah, the Magic Castle.
Magic
Yeah.
Castle. So it's the same similar kind of thing. So is
So-
it invite only like
No,
Magic Castle?
No,
anyone can go.
This is
Open to the public.
this is genuinely just a show that runs, once a.
So what's the point of
however.
the magic password? Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
no,
what can you say it again, or
yeah, I think
is it
I mean
breaking the magician's
open
code?
the box.
Well, that's fucking. I thought it was going to be like abracadabra or something.
Okay, well, it might change from like the week to week,
Forgeticus.
like for security reasons.
Yeah, right,
you got to
yeah.
update it.
Open the
It
box.
was the password was Q capital W X23 exclamation mark.
Backslash
So
Q anon.
yeah, it was open the box _69. So you go upstairs.
Yeah.
The theatre is so comfortable. It is one of the most comfortable theatres I've ever sat in, because they've just made that, like him and I think maybe his assistant was his wife, his partner, but I don't know. That wasn't sort of, but
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. But that kind of seemed
Yep.
to be the vibe.
How many seats?
So I'm going to say 50 or 60.
Oh wow, that's big.
Yeah, 40, 50 maybe. But
Yeah, right.
like in,
Proper little black box.
yeah, I would say like 50 at least.
Yeah.
And old cinema seats.
Oh,
So when
the
one of
best.
the cinemas was like closing down, they bought. So it was so it was a 90-minute show. So but just felt so comfortable the whole time in these like plush like cinema seats. And so they've got a camera on the roof so that when he's doing his close-up magic, he's kind of just at a desk, like we're at right now, and then he's like just doing all these like. So the show is it's like a one-person show, and it's about the first magic box that he got when he was a kid, and then he just does.
Remember the first magic box I got? Well,
It was from someone dressed like you. And,
You got to subscribe to our Patreon to watch the video to get that gag.
and so you're in confession, and you're like, "What's this hole down here?" So
Close your eyes. Look, no hands.
So, so you go in at the start and you can have a look around he says, like, have a look at everything, and, you can have, and then the show starts, and it's very much, so this first book of tricks, it's got the cup tricks, it's got the blah, 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 and he's done a show that's sort of a bit of the story of his life weaved in between heightened versions of these original tricks from this box. It's nice. It's a really charming.
That's cool. How did
It's
you
like-
get onto this?
It was just one of those, just things that was on in Melbourne, sort of. And Gatesy and I went to the Melbourne Magic Festival, and he is, I think, the director or on the board of the Melbourne Magic Festival. And so, a couple of years ago, Gatesy and I went to a show at the Melbourne Magic Festival and loved it. And a friend of mine, I was telling a friend of mine about it, and they was like, "Oh, there's this show on," and arranged for us to go
Oh, that's so
to
cool.
see it. And we had we had a magical night, Charlie.
Oh, really? Filled with wonder?
It was honestly so nice though, like, because it's
So with
it's
that-
not like edgy or
Yeah.
modern.
Although,
it's
yeah.
family and charming, and like it's all close up sleight of hand stuff and card tricks and like mentalism and but I love that stuff.
So because I love magic too, but I have no desire in knowing how it's done. Like I just love like just being tricked. And I have no idea. Like sometimes I see magic and I'm like, that's just fucking incredible. Like but you're just happy to be entertained, or does part of you want to know how they did it? Like, do you enjoy trying to figure it out?
I think part of like what's really charming to me about this show is that because it's based on this box of the first tricks you learn how to do when you're when you get your magic
coming
like
magician,
like
kit,
a right? So it's all the the cups, because the way the ball tricks work in the cups is it's never the same ball, right?
Right.
Like so. The ball that's in the cup pops out of
and they're squishy
the cup.
balls, right?
They're squishy ball. So it's in the top of the cup and it pops down when you hit it on one side and the other one you've sleeved or whatever. It's all sleight of hand misdirection. So that's the case. And in a show like this, because he's there's only 50 people there, but like I said, there's a camera on the roof, so you can see on a screen behind him it all up close what he's doing. So the great kind of thing is you can sometimes see what the tricks are, but it's actually like watching him do it and you not being able to catch him doing it. And you're like, that's fun to watch. Like, it's actually, I think you'd enjoy it because there's that thing where you go, oh, yeah, I can kind of see how this works, but not enough that it spoils anything.
Yeah.
In fact, just enough that I can go, oh, this is so cool because I know what I'm looking for and I still can't see you doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I often feel so ripped off with these stumpy little fingers.
Yeah.
Because
they're not magic fingers.
They're not magic fingers. No. Like guitar, piano, prestidigitation, what a magician does to manipulate things. I could never do that. But imagine if I was the stumpy fingered magician, because then the level of kind of deception or misdirection is even greater. The skill that it took for this little stumpy fingered magician to fool you about where that coin is or where that ball is. Like I could maybe carve out. Is it too late for me to do a career switch? Like, how long do you think it would take me to get to a competent level of like close up magic?
I mean, ages. I think
I'd be there. Because at 80, that could be my gimmick. I'm the 80-year-old stumpy fingered. So I've got like 30 years to get really good at magic. Maybe I'll get like 2 or 3 years of like a really good career before I die.
I just think that this is not a good use of your time.
What if, right? We're in a studio now. Yeah. We get another camera we put up there, and every week I attempt to do a close-up magic trick.
Okay,
with
so vote on the group.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Charlie tries to become the world's best stumpy magician? Close-up magician?
I've got 30 years.
Or we keep eating biscuits.
Yeah, they're your two choices. It's a Sophie's choice.
We're going one direction or the other.
Kobayashi Maru. There is no correct answer.
Charlie, I know some tricks, mate. I could train you. You could be good in.
Is this true?
Next time we record, yeah.
What do you know?
Oh, by the way, welcome back, Mike the Third,
Mike's
after paternity leave.
Yes,
welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, what tricks do you know?
When I was finishing high school, to procrastinate from studying, I learned a bunch of card tricks.
See, when I was at high school, when I wanted to procrastinate, I did stuff with my hands, but it wasn't card tricks.
Interesting. So is this your card? No, that's your dick again, Charlie. What sort of card tricks, like, Mike? You don't need to tell us exactly, but like, what are we talking?
The sort of tricks that I liked were, if you threw me a deck now, I could probably do a 5-minute routine.
Oh, God, that's a fucking Patreon bonus, right?
And how long did it take you to? I mean, firstly, yes, that is 100% a Patreon bonus episode. But secondly, how long did it take you to learn to be able to do 5 minutes of tricks?
Some of the tricks aren't like, there is some skill in the misdirection. Like there's moves, obviously, but not all of it is moves. A lot of it is just knowing how to do it. And some tricks which appear amazing are actually not that hard to do. But a lot of it's selling. It was great to learn how to sell a trick, and the patter around the trick is the fun of it.
Oh yeah,
That's where we'd be good at it.
Well, there was one moment that went wrong last night in the show, Tim's show. Not his fault in any way. It was literally and this is like when you talk about the misdirection. So there's a part of the show where he gets someone up on stage. There's a bunch of books in the corner. They can pick any book, any page, and they're just going to think of a word. So it's a mentalism. He's it's a mentalism trick, right? And so he said, pick the longest words you can find. So that's clearly there's only a certain amount of longest words. You know, he's memorized all, I assume. He's like, I mean, I guess if I'm going to guess how this trick is done, which might not be how it's done, but if I would guess, it is, he's memorized all the
long words.
There's not a lot of long words. It's only a certain amount of them. He asked a question for context. He asked a couple of, give me the first letters, like, you know, or what's the word before, like, is the word before it too? Like, he was doing some stuff to kind of work it out. And then it felt like he got it wrong, right? It had started with a letter. He'd had to cross it out. He goes, oh, you know what? Choose another book or go to another page in that book. We need an even longer word. Like, you know, and you're like, oh, I think it's not worked or he's not remembered or whatever. Anyway, so he gets the longer word, which is great. You know, so he like, and everyone's really impressed by that. Like, genuinely one of those ones where like it takes everyone's breath away. But there was that moment you're like, oh, I think he stumbled in the middle. Then later on, he's doing another thing that involves this very iconic place. He has a pack of cards that is from this iconic place, and he's doing his trick and blah, blah, blah. And the woman in the front row, who was the one who picked the books, she goes, I've just got to stop you. Like, that is the place where, like, that was the word that, like, the first word that I tried to think to you. And he was like, yeah, that was going to be.
Oh, no.
Like, you know,
she shouted out the
punchline. But she was so amazed that, like,
yeah.
Suddenly she was like, yeah, she was so blown away in her head of, like, that was the original word. That she was like, I've just got to stop the show to tell you that, like.
All right, Mike, here's my pitch for our Patreon episode. You do your 5-minute routine, and Will and I step on every single high point of your routine just before you get to it. It's going to be the Queen of Hearts? It's a Queen of Hearts, right?
It's funny, there are some people who, like, they're just naturally magic killers.
Oh, yeah. That's my nickname. Every show I've ever been on.
All right.
Is it time to crack that pack? So how are we doing this? So
Now,
we're doing, so this is the first of a few we're recording. So
First
we're just
of
doing
3,
one.
I've got 3 cookies.
Okay,
So,
and are we trying the same ones each time?
yeah,
Okay,
they're big. I just think we can have half each.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't think it's we need to eat a whole.
I haven't eaten anything today, so
No.
this
So
should-
this is the selection. I was going to get 3 separate ones from 3 separate places. However, there was a twist in the end. So So I went to, there was one place I wanted to go to. There's a place called the Cookie Factory at the South Melbourne Markets. It's local to here. I thought, that's great.
Any Anzac biscuits at the
Well,
Cookie Factory?
They have an oat and raisin cookie,
Oh, it's my favourite.
right? Okay.
I love
so,
oat and raisin.
Well, we have an oat and raisin cookie to try today.
I'm very excited.
But while I was there, and I was only going to get the oat and raisin cookie, that was because I was like, we just need something that's like I know is going to be nice. I've had it before. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
I like it, guaranteed. While I was there, now they have a Nutella cookie that I've never tried before. It was the last day they're doing it. It was a special edition. They're never doing it again. I thought, you know what? Well, they'll probably do it again at some point, but it's going off. I was like, you know what? I should get that. So from the same place, we have the oat and raisin, we have the Nutella cookie. And then from a Bibelot or Bibelot, I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's another place. There's an old-fashioned kind of choc chip, not like a chocolate choc chip, just like an old-fashioned, but it's got a bit of marshmallow in it.
Oh.
So there are 3 cookies
Very excited.
to try today. We can
Yep.
try them in any order. It's
Okay.
up to you which of those you'd prefer to start the day with.
I'll let you choose. Dealer's choice.
Well, I think just like oat and raisin feels
Yep.
like the right.
And it's breakfast time, late
Yeah.
breakfast. It feels like the most healthiest option.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
yeah, this
Well, actually, you know what? There is a sack. We can
Oh.
crack the sack. Rather than cracking the pack,
yeah.
we can crack the sack.
crack this sack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah.
lovely bespoke bag with oatmeal and raisin, like printed on the outside. Now this is sort of a chunky gourmet cookie.
That's right.
So I've never had a cookie like this before. I'll be honest. Like they kind of almost look like scones in a way. Like they're thick, sort of a bready cookie. So are you happy with me to just?
Yeah.
break that in half.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so I'll talk while you eat off
Okay.
mic,
All right.
and then you can come back with like a few of your comments. But Charlie's right; it is definitely like it's one of those cookies that peaks in the middle. It's a bit soft, but it's like harder around the edges, which was something that Charlie had said he likes a bit of crunchiness as well as the soft. It's definitely got a lot of like raisin in it.
All right.
Like but it might be a bit sugary for Charlie's taste. Is my only issue. Like that's the only thing I'm worried about because you
I'm
took
good.
quite a big bite.
Yeah, I'm giving that like an A,
Yeah.
maybe an even A plus.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Good, right?
outstanding. It's everything that I love about an oat and raisin cookie. Just the right amount of cinnamon as well, which I think is kind of like an essential ingredient. Crispy on the outside, soft and chewy in the middle. I know people don't like oat and raisin cookies because of the texture of the raisin. It grosses people out, like eating flies or something. But that is absolutely fantastic. I know what you're saying about, is it too sweet? This is the exception I'll make when it's an oat and raisin cookie. I think you can't go wrong with sweet oats. But that's an A for me. Oh, I'm so glad because the last one we had was that Gay Time.
Yep.
And as I told you, I'm not a fan of Gay Times. Well, Gay Time biscuits.
Yeah, that's right.
That is outstanding.
So my worry with the Nutella one is it's going to be too much.
Yeah. I had
This to me feels like oat and raisin, which kind of is the one that's not trying to be the sweetest. This already feels pretty sweet to me. So I'm a bit worried that when we go to Nutella, it's going to be...
Well, it's probably a good one to start. Like, we don't want to overwhelm
No.
our palate. But no, that's
good, right?
That's the best one we've had so far.
Yeah, I'll buy a mile.
If we have a clubhouse leader, what's it called again? The shop?
The Cookie Factory.
The Cookie Factory, the oat and raisin clubhouse leader for mine. That is a perfect cookie. I'm on like with a cup of tea,
Totally.
coffee,
Right?
on its own. Have a bite half now, half later. It's just your perfect utilitarian
Yeah.
cookie. Works in every situation.
Yeah, I know.
Did I use that
Right?
word correctly?
We needed a comeback. I think after the first couple of
Yeah,
weeks,
I'm
they were
glad.
just so terrible.
Yeah.
I just wanted to lock something in that we could enjoy.
It's funny because I went to the Footscray markets yesterday and I was looking around for cookies and obviously a bunch of Asian groceries there. And so I was looking at some really like weird to me, like brands I didn't recognize. There was one that was called it was a green tea choco pie, which is like a wagon wheel, but the marshmallow was dyed or flavored with green tea. And I was almost going to buy that, but I'm so glad we've gone with like a bespoke bakery cookie because that is clearly like an amazing cookie. Well done, Will.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done, Cookie Factory.
Well done, Cookie
And all
Factory.
the workers down at the Cookie Factory.
I imagine they're all just like crowded around like one of their phones, like listening to, did we crack that pack?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what we haven't discussed is like a rating system. Like, do we give it?
Didn't
Like,
we rate
was
them
it
last
five?
time?
Was it 5 cups? Was that cups of tea? I can't remember. Did we have that's 5 cups of tea? That's 5 broken cookies. Maybe we've got to think of.
I thought we...
You got a bit of cookie
Didn't
on
we...
this.
Do I have cookie on my mouth?
You got a bit of cookie left on. You're fine now. You're all good. I can't remember if we had a rating system.
I think we did.
Can't
Didn't
remember
you
what it
give
was.
like the Golden Gay Time one an F?
Yeah, but I mean, can we come up with a better
better-
more cookie related
Or biscuit related?
or biscuit related?
Okay. We'll have to
We'll
think
have to
about that.
think about that. Will, I want to just go to the mailbag to bring up something that you discussed a little while ago, which was pineapple lumps in New Zealand. Mike, have you got that thing all queued up?
Ready to go.
Okay, so this came in from Tom. He said, "G'day, team. Apologies, I'm a little behind in the podcast, but having just listened to Hume Highway from May, I thought I'd shed some light on pineapple lumps. My brother has lived in New Zealand for 10 years and believed that pineapple lumps were akin to eating carpet underlay. He did, however, love their ad, which I have linked in this letter. I love it and would be keen to hear what Mr. Gruen
Okay.
thinks as well." Okay, so this is a ad campaign from New Zealand for pineapple lumps.
In the beginning, when the creator was giving out stuff, New Zealand slipped in. A mismatch?
Oh, mate, oil, gold, car manufacturing.
Oh, not too much then.
Diamond, gold.
So, Mike, are we seeing this?
I've only got the audio. I can't control the
Okay.
screens.
Let me just show Will, and we'll just pick it up.
Okay.
All right.
Hang on.
New Zealand slipped in. A mismatch?
So,
In the beginning, when the creator was giving out stuff, New Zealand slipped in. A mismatch?
Oh, mate, oil, gold, car manufacturing.
Not too much then.
Diamond, gold to South Africa.
You gotta be quicker around here.
Apple lumps. Well done, New Zealand.
And that's how we beat the rest of the world. Big fella.
Sweet ass, dude.
all right. So, for those of you listening, it's a pretty funny ad in which there is like a UN-style meeting happening, and the representative from New Zealand is
Gets there
having
a bit late.
conference with God, and God,
God's handing out the best things.
for
to the
every
nations all
every
around the
nation.
world. Yep.
And he picks pineapple lumps.
Yep.
What do you think of the ad? Firstly, with your Mr. Gruen hat on.
Okay, I'll put my Mr. Gruen hat on. That I
You-
carry
you-
with
can
me
you
at
put on
all times.
your Gruen garb?
Yeah. So here's what I will say about that is the New Zealand advertising industry is widely regarded as one of the more creative industries, much like the New Zealand comedy industry. They're small enough that they have enough creative people that they can take a few risks or do something. There's a little bit of the mainstream pressure off, and they make great stuff.
And
That
there's also that kind of
Quirkiness.
the quirkiness that the Kiwis are known for, especially when it comes to comedy.
works well in advertising.
Yes.
Because like you got to get something across in a fun way that isn't like annoying or too in your face,
Or
and there is
pretentious.
like
Yeah.
and it's just played perfectly. Like even the fact that it's literally, I mean, you could imagine that played another way would get a lot of complaints.
What do you mean? Oh, because it's God.
God.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
God saying,
says,
"Sweet dude."
sweet dude at the end, and like eating pineapple lumps with this fella, you know, like.
Well, it actually makes me kind of more curious to try a pineapple lump because it's like, well, if they've got a good sense of humor about it, then maybe it tastes okay. Because that makes sense.
Isn't there a bit where, like, because I only watched it once, but do South Africa get diamonds?
Diamonds, I know.
That's an edgy
That's
joke, isn't
controversial. Yeah. God approves in like child labor.
I mean, yeah. So,
Just clean the blood off it. You'll be fine.
yeah, okay. So, good ad.
Yeah.
Good
ad.
product.
And yeah, well, I'm now more curious to try
I
pineapple
think
lumps.
you would hate them.
Right. Too sweet.
Too chewy.
But
too
you also said that it's not
taffy-like.
really, it's not like, what's that company in South Australia? You know, the,
Fruit Shocks.
yeah,
No, it's not Fruit Shock.
shocks.
like-
It's
no,
like
no.
complete confection.
No, it's very,
more like the bananas that you get in mixed lollies, right?
yeah, but chewier.
And
like a
pineapple
taffy
flavoured. Yeah.
style.
No, I don't think I would.
No, I
like
don't think
that.
you would like it either.
All right. Well, that is TOFOP for this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the show, still the best way to do that is Patreon. Lots of great bonus content up there. Full videos of every episode of TOFOP. So if you want to see what I'm dressed like in this episode, like a priest, you can go to patreon.com/everyonerelax. If you want to go to our website, that is everyonerelax.co. All the podcasts are there. And Will, are you still touring? Have you got?
I am.
Oh my God.
I'll never stop. I will never stop touring. No, I will stop very soon.
Okay.
When will people hear this episode?
Mike? 3
This
weeks. Oh, this week. No, really?
It's for this week?
No, isn't,
Yeah.
That's what we're
isn't
up
the
to,
first live episode coming? Isn't the Bron Lewis Sam Peterson?
Oh, no,
episode?
sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. Yep. Last time's live episode this week. So
About 3
a week
weeks.
after that.
Oh, okay. Right. Week
Okay.
up, 2 weeks.
I will be. I've still got 2 more shows on my tour. I think one of them's already sold out, which would be Noosa, Caloundra. I believe there might be still some tickets available at this stage. So if you're in Caloundra, come see the show.
And as Will hinted, we are doing more live shows. Maybe by the time this episode's come out, we've announced those. So you can also go to our website, everyonerelax.co. There's a
If you signed up to the Patreon, you always get first.
advanced.
Yes.
Yeah, advanced tickets, first dibs. And also, if you're a fan of Two Guys, One Cup, we're also doing a live Two Guys, One Cup in September. There'll be details on the website, and we'll let you know on social medias. But that is TOFOP for this week. I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Larson.
How long? Not long! Everyone relax!